strong case as the greatest player ever.
He put in these spots that you expect the incredible, and he really disappoints. And that was no different.
He's, between him and Barry Bonds, that's the two best players I've ever seen.
同地区ライバルのダイヤモンドバックスとのシリーズ2戦目が行われ、追いつ追われつの大激戦となりました。9回、8対11からマンシーらのヒットで追いつき、大谷翔平選手の豪快なスリーランでドジャースが劇的な勝利を収めました。マンシー、ロバーツ監督のインタビュー、および大谷対バリーボンズとの比較で湧いた試合後の放送を訳しました。
A losing streak, that swing right there made sure there's no losing streak. Amazing swing, amazing clutch player.
They took the lead, unfortunately, but we never gave up and battled back down there at the end.
When Shohei steps in the ninth, are you already planning the party?
Yeah. No. I mean, you guys have heard me say it how many times. Show keeps her.
Obviously, it's one game, but how energizing can playing a game like that, winning a game like that be, especially when you're going through a long season and trying to, not think too much big picture. Can it just kind of put a jolt into the year a little bit?
Yeah, it can, and it's again, like I was just saying, we try to preach steadiness in this clubhouse. Don't let the highs get too high, don't let the lows get too low, and this game is obviously a big win, and it can provide a lot of energy for us, but we got to find a way to maintain just steadiness throughout, and obviously you try to carry a little momentum over from the night before, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Fast, didn't it?
It did. It did, and we just ready to hit, and we've seen Ginkel a lot over the years, and we just took some good at bats.
When you see that emotion from Shohei after that swing, is that just emotion from coming through? Is that emotion from the type of game, the atmosphere? What sort of is behind that?
I think all of the above. It's you have a game and you feel good about it. You're playing a division rival. They're starting to gain momentum in the series, and we fight our way back, and we take the lead with a big homer, and he sees his teammates fighting, and guys trying to keep us in the ball game. So that was kind of the climax of that moment, and it's good to see him show emotion like that. It was great.
How frustrated was your pitching coach?
Yeah, he was, and the thing is that all the guys do. They're doing their best, and Eric was doing his best, but there was some pitches that swung counts, and certainly that Luis Garcia at bat to Suarez, and that changed that inning, the scoreboard, and so it gets emotional, all of us, and so obviously it's nothing personal, and you can't argue balls and strikes, and Eric did what he's supposed to do.
With everything that you've seen Shohei do in the 2 years you've had him, does anything cease to amaze you anymore?
No, he's between him and Barry Bonds, that's the two best players I've ever seen. I play with Barry, but what Shohei does in the clutch, I've never seen anything like what he does in the clutch.
Did you go out to talk to him after Mark got ejected, and kind of what was
I did. I was trying to diffuse it a little bit, and I just wanted to kind of support Mark, but understand where Eric was coming from.
When you have all that happen in one game, does it feel like more than just one win on a random night in May to be able to pull that out?
It does. I think that the series is level now, and as opposed to being down 0-2 in the series, and those guys are feeling really good with Burns going tomorrow. So I think our bullpen is in a really good spot, considering kind of how the game went, to win the next two games. So it was a big emotional game.
What are you seeing from Roki tonight?
I just felt tonight he was laboring from the outset. You can tell by facing 20 hitters and not one strikeout. Guys are taking really good swings. He didn't have tonight to put guys away. And, so I think at that point in time, there's a point where I feel that we got to make a change, and, Anthony's got to come in and do his job. And that's part of it. And he didn't do his job tonight. So, but as far as Roki, I just felt that it wasn't a rest situation. I just don't think that he was particularly sharp tonight. And commanding the fastball, the split, all that stuff. So, hopefully he wasn't too taxed tonight, and his next start, he'll be raring to go.
How do you kind of work on him getting more swing and miss, which was obviously lacking tonight? Like, what would you kind of point to as like the source?
I don't know. I think that it's different. It's whether it's the miss with the fastball in certain counts, and it's all dependent on the sequencing and how you get to 2 strikes. And so he got to a lot of 2-strike counts, and and one classic case was the 0-2 to 4-2 to Marte, in the 5th inning. And so you get count leverage, and you got to be able to kind of wipe guys out when you get count leverage like that. And just tonight, he just couldn't do it.
It is not the first time that Dave Roberts has mentioned the names Shohei Ohtani and Barry Bonds in the same sentence. He did so last year as well. Oral, I know you were teammates with Barry Bonds. You also faced him a lot of times. They're different players, but the level of greatness that both of these guys have, pretty similar.
Yeah, the talent is similar. There's definitely contrasting styles, and you think about Barry Bonds, usually he maybe got 1 pitch to hit in an at-bat. A lot of times in a situation like Shohei was in there, he's going to get walked. But Shohei has a lot more swing and miss, but when you make a mistake to either one of them, and especially this guy, it goes an awfully long way. I think Barry had to be a little bit more disciplined because he knew they were pitching around him, where Shohei gets pitched to because he's got superstars all around him, where Barry maybe have a Jeff Kent behind him or a JT Snow or somebody like that. He didn't have a lot of protection. So Shohei getting a few more pitches to hit, getting pitched to a little bit more often, but you're talking about unearthly talent in both of their bodies.
I played against Barry. I know Barry a little bit. And I think Shohei is more Ken Griffey Jr. That's what Shohei is to me, because Jr. was an incredible athlete, center fielder, the flair for the dramatic, hit those big home runs. Barry, he didn't get pitches to hit. And when he did get a pitch, it was usually a home run. That was the second half of his career. So, listen, they're all great players. I think when it's all said and done, especially when Shohei gets back to pitching and he goes on a run the next 5 or 6 years as a pitcher, I think he's going to have a strong case as the greatest player ever. I think he's have a strong case. But listen, they're all great players. Barry was incredible, but Barry was like the high school kid facing 12-year-olds. That's how he was at the plate, because he only got 1 pitch to hit, sometimes a series, and it was to the people. But again, Shohei is one of the best players. That kid in New York, Yankees, he's pretty good too. He's in the conversation as well.
Early in year 2 of that 10-year deal, we get to enjoy Shohei Ohtani for a very long time here in Los Angeles.